Yo, what is up guys, Ghost here, welcome back to another video. In this one, we have a bunch more leaks to go over for the new Battlefield game. The data mining has continued, it's gone way further than I honestly thought it ever would, especially for, you know, a temporary build like Battlefield Labs. So in this one, we're going to get into some more map details. I did a full rundown of all of the apparent concept art that we saw a couple of days ago in a video, so I'll link that one below for anybody who missed out on that. But over on Twitter, a guy called Tizin45 actually drew far more insights than I did in my video, to be honest with you, from a lot of these locations, so I wanted to run over that quickly. We've got a full list of weapon attachments as well, some faction predictions here based on the map locations. So all of that is coming up in a minute. If you're not already, make sure you're subscribed, guys. There's going to be plenty more to come on Battlefield in the next weeks, months, and years as well. So make sure you're subbed up, and as always, thank you guys for the support. Okay, so first of all, here is a graphic showing the overview of all of the official map names and which countries they are based in. So Eastwood, this looks like it is going to be the Hollywood Hills map in LA. The Brooklyn map is then going to be called Dumbo, which stands for Down Under the Manhattan Bridge Overpass. I actually had no idea of that acronym there. I saw people talking about Dumbo. I thought they were talking about the movie, The Elephant or something. I had no idea. Anyway, then we've got Badlands, we have Outskirts, Glacier, and Limestone. Just keep these names in mind, okay? Battery, we now know, is the Gibraltar map that we saw in the second playtest. We've got Capstone, which is in Tajikistan. Now, both Tungsten and Abbasid are maps in Egypt, and one of these, Abbasid, we saw in the first Battlefield playtest. The other one, it seems to be more like on the outskirts of Cairo, so that's why in a lot of the concept art that we saw there, it was kind of confusing. You could see pyramids in the background, so it was clearly in Egypt, but it didn't look very much like the Abbasid map. Portal 2.0 is confirmed to be coming to the game. Flakfire has mentioned that DICE officially said that, and so far we've seen Datamined by Interporial, Talar Market from the BF3 DLC Aftermath, and then propaganda from BF4's DLC China Rising. And then finally, we think the name of the big Battle Royale map is called Granite. So here are some more images of the Dumbo map. On the left side, you can see the official concept art from DICE, and on the right at the top there, you can see the image I provided in my video as well, which is from Google Maps, of the actual building they've used in the shot in the concept art on the top left there. However, in my video, whilst I said that that welcome sign wasn't in Google Maps, actually, it is way up on top of the building, and here's even a news article talking about this welcome sign making its debut, so that looks to be the exact location there. And then he's also found the tunnel here, which you can see in the left concept art. Now, in this shot here, down at the bottom, we have the battery map, and this is a massive giveaway that I also completely failed to spot in my video. It kind of confused me because the interior of this house really kind of reminds me of a British house. There is a picture on the wall there that says love. There's also a Union Jack pillow led on the bed, but of course, Gibraltar is an overseas territory. So this is clearly from the Gibraltar map here. So here you can see both of the Egypt maps. So on the right here, you can see Abbasid that we saw in the first playtest, and there was a mosque that was identified within the playtest, which is a real world location. So he's found it there on Google Maps. All the way across the other side of this urban environment where the sand begins there, you've got the Giza pyramids, and that is actually where this tungsten map is. So that makes a lot of sense. Now, that was what was confusing me the other day. It didn't really look like Abbasid, and that is because we have two different maps. Now, this map here, he seems to think is from Bulgaria, and there's a little picture of what autumn looks like in Bulgaria. We've seen a lot of yellow sort of color palette here, a lot of autumnal colors, and he says the main feature of Bulgaria's topography is 4 alternating bands of high and low terrain that extend from east to west across the country, extensive lowlands, plains, hills, low and high mountains, numerous valleys, and deep gorges. That's certainly what this picture seems to portray. And then down at the bottom, we don't really know what map this is, but we do know there is a map in the files called the Badlands, and this looks pretty damn desolate. So if it isn't the Badlands, like he says, what else could it be? So in this slide, we're taking a look at the concept art with the oil rigs here, or not the oil rigs, but the wells, I guess. And they are apparently going to be in Turkmenistan. So obviously their economy largely boils down to like oil, natural gas, petrochemical products, and that sort of thing there. That would make a lot of sense. But also on the right side here, this map, Capstone, could be placed in Tajikistan, which is sort of known for having these numerous mountain ranges. And here we actually have all of the map descriptions, or apparently that's what they seem to be. This guy here, Vanik, I'm not sure what Discord this is from, but somebody posted this over on Reddit, and these seem to be all the map descriptions. And I want to draw your attention to this one here that says, NATO forces engage in a costly battle to dislodge a Pax Armata unit entrenched in the Pamir Mountains. And if you look up the Pamir Mountains, they are a mountain range in Tajikistan. So moving on from that one, let's take a look at the weapon attachments list here, which has been data mined by the aptly named Sluts of Battlefield Labs. So there you go. Anyway, I'm not going to run down this entire list for you guys. You can read them for yourselves. But here for the categories, we've got angled grips, we've got bipods, flash hiders, grips, grip pods, which is sort of the same thing, I believe, hollow sights, lasers, laser lights, lights, bunch of different magazines here. Actually, it seems we're going to be getting a 60-round magazine. We are going to be staying with these larger size magazines, it seems, that we've sort of grown used to, I guess, somewhat in Battlefield 2042. We've got magnifiers, we've got mid-zoom scopes here, muzzle brakes, reflex sights, stubby grips, you know, sniper optics, suppressors, basically what you would expect to see in a Battlefield game. There looks like a good selection here. I have seen some people slightly worried that maybe this is going to go the same way as the gunsmith in Call of Duty, whereby like you won't be able to use your gun naked and it's basically going to be useless almost until you've unlocked all of the attachments. But I always feel this way in Battlefield games and Delta Force and those sorts of games regardless. Like, you pick up a naked gun, it's pretty much useless. You know, you have to unlock at least some of the best attachments, certainly the extended magazines, to really get the optimal performance out of the weapon. So not really sure what they mean there, but this looks like a pretty nice selection to me. And once we are on the topic of weapon attachments, here are some weapon mastery tier icons that were data mined for one of the assault rifles in the game. So here you can see we've got bronze, silver, gold, probably diamond or something like that, and then it looks like some obsidian, red, ruby-like, probably like your tier 1 skin, right? So it seems we're keeping that system from Battlefield 2042. I think this is cool. I know a lot of people like the service stars though as well from BF3 and BF4. I think you could get, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was up to 100 service stars for any weapon once you had unlocked all of the attachments for it. But some sort of a progression system for the weapons is really, really nice. And honestly, these icons here look pretty solid. So are we going to get to see, you know, tier 1 skins to go with the tier 1 mastery badges? Is that something that people want? I don't know. You know, leave your thoughts down below on that one. Now, this one here also posted on Reddit is basically a prediction of how the lore or the story of the game is going to play out. These are the two factions at the moment. So we know we have the NATO, and we know that we have the Pax Armata coalition, which previously was thought to be a PMC, right? But after Temporal's data mining, he has found that in the files, it is simply called the Alliance versus the Coalition. So now we know it's a coalition, and previously in Battlefield 2142, we had a faction called the PAC, the Pan-Asian Coalition. And if you've been keeping up on your 2042 lore, you'll know that DICE have kind of been teasing this flower logo here that the PAC had back in 2142. So it wouldn't surprise me if this is going to be some sort of a precursor faction to the events that then later happen in Battlefield 2142. And it makes a lot of sense if we look at the actual locations of the maps here. So of course you've got the east coast of America, you've got the west coast of America, and then we have, you know, a lot of Europe, Gibraltar there with Battery, we've got the Middle East, and then we're sort of spilling into Russia and those territories in Asia as well. So far we have seen several clues that we're going to be able to play and make use of cosmetics from various different nations around the world. So probably the British, because we do have Gibraltar involved and they are a British overseas territory. Of course the US, of course Russia, probably also Sweden as well, because we've seen Swedish vehicles. We've even seen a South African vehicle. So how many different nations we're actually going to get to play as and what sort of cosmetics will we be able to unlock kind of remains to be seen yet, but here is another bit of a clue as to that. And these are a couple of patches that were data mined, and this one is a Finnish patch, and it says everybody gangster until the snow starts speaking. I do like the humor of this one. I think they're definitely on the right track with that one. I think it's gonna definitely speak to Battlefield players. And then here we have one for the Gripen jet, of course, that we've already heard about, be the game changer. So presumably these patches you're going to be able to display on the sleeve of your uniform on your soldier. Here are also a couple of stickers that somebody found. I really like the remote worker one there. That makes a lot of sense. The GG one, of course, they're a little bit, you know, tongue-in-cheek, kind of cartoony, but I don't think they're too bad at all there. I'm not really sure what these stickers are going to go on. Could it be for tanks? Could it be for the side of your weapon? I guess time will tell. But that is about all I have for you guys today. I will be sure to make another video if we get a bunch more leaks, which is almost certain to happen, I think, at this point. Maybe we're going to be getting a new Battlefield test soon as well. It's been a week now since the last one. It seems like they're maybe giving them out on sort of a, you know, bi-weekly, tri-weekly cadence, so that's going to be a lot of fun and games there for anybody who gets accepted. If you guys missed the last video going over all of the map concept art in detail, make sure you go and check that one out. A lot of insights there into what sort of places we are going to be visiting around the world in the next Battlefield game. Leave me your thoughts down below, guys. What do you think of the leak so far? Are you excited for the next game? Are you still somewhat apprehensive? But otherwise, have a good day. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one.